Okay, so you've got a well-known community figure, a tax bill for almost $2 million, and a whole web of alleged fraud that involves pandemic relief funds. Yeah, this is a seriously complex legal saga with some massive stakes, and we're going to break it all down piece by piece. So let's just start with this staggering number. Nearly $1.7 million. That is the size of a federal tax lien the IRS just slapped on a real estate company for unpaid payroll taxes. But as huge as that number is, it's really just the beginning of the story. There's another number that's frankly even more life-altering.
And here it is, 30 years. That's the maximum potential prison time Aaron B. Collins is facing for each one of the 5 bank fraud charges against him. And that's not even all of it. With even more charges piled on top, the stakes are just astronomically high. So how in the world did these two giant numbers connect? Well, what we're looking at here are two separate but parallel legal battles. One is a civil case, all about the tax money that's owed, and the other, that's a criminal case, and it involves some really serious fraud allegations. Let's untangle this.
So, who is the man at the center of the storm? This is Aaron B. Collins. He's a real estate owner and, as we're about to find out, a pretty prominent figure in his community. And honestly, that very public profile is what makes these allegations so shocking.
Now, to really get what's going on here, we have to pull these two legal actions apart. It's really easy to get them mixed up, but they're moving forward on totally different tracks for totally different reasons.
So here's how it breaks down. On one side, you have the criminal case, brought by federal prosecutors. This is all about the alleged PPP fraud and money laundering, and the punishment could be actual prison time. Then, on the other side, you have the civil case from the IRS. This one is about unpaid payroll taxes, and the consequence here is purely financial. That massive $1.7 million lien.
Let's zoom in on that criminal side for a second. We're talking about a 16-count federal indictment. That's 5 counts of bank fraud and 11 counts of money laundering. And every single one of them is a felony, carrying those really severe maximum sentences we just talked about. This is serious stuff.
So where did the money at the heart of this criminal case even come from? And where did it supposedly go? Well, this part of the story is all about the Paycheck Protection Program, the PPP, which was meant to help businesses stay afloat during the pandemic. According to the feds, this is how much we're talking about. Over $600,000 in PPP funds. This was money that was supposed to keep businesses running, but prosecutors are saying it was gotten through fraud and completely misused. So what happened to all that cash? Well, prosecutors allege it never went to payroll or business expenses. Nope. Instead, the indictment claims it was used for personal stuff, benefiting Collins and his family. And the alleged purchases really tell a story. We're talking cars and even cryptocurrency. And the allegations don't just involve one company. They span across 3 different entities that Collins controlled. He's accused of applying for PPP loans for his real estate company, a childcare service, and a social advocacy organization. And get this, 2 of those loans were actually forgiven by the government. The third one wasn't. Okay, so this whole story gets another really complex layer when you look at who Aaron Collins actually is in his community. This isn't just some random business owner. The guy has a very public profile.
I mean, look at this. He was a standout football player for Penn State. He was the executive director at a local school. He was an assistant basketball coach. These are all positions of trust, of leadership, which just creates this huge dramatic contrast with the serious federal charges he's facing right now. So where do things stand right now? Well, the legal wheels are already turning. Here's a quick rundown of how this whole case has unfolded up to this point. So it all kicked off in late 2023 with a federal indictment. By February of this year, Collins was in court pleading not guilty. And then, just a month after that, wham! The IRS hits him with that other blow, the massive civil tax lien.
And it's really important to state this plainly. At his arraignment, Aaron Collins pleaded not guilty to all 16 of the criminal charges. He is denying every allegation of fraud and money laundering.
So as the case moves forward, Collins is currently free on a $10,000 bond. He's being represented by a member of the Federal Public Defender's Office, and the criminal case is now making its way through the justice system.
All of this leaves us with a much bigger question. This case is about one man and his companies, for sure, but it touches on this huge issue from the pandemic era, when funds that are meant to help small businesses and their employees are allegedly siphoned off for personal gain. Who's the real victim here? Who really pays the price? It's definitely something to think about long after this one case is decided.